What's up, guys? We're on our way deeper into Mississippi, and then we are going to Arkansas. One of the roads we're going on is closed. It's going to double part of our run, part of our route, which is quite unfortunate. Yo, AK! Getting it nice and cold in the truck on this hot day. It is 94 degrees outside. Is that a language? I know I don't know what all languages look like, but I'm not sure about that one. Looks like some German, but maybe some native words after that. I could be wrong. Probably. Alright guys, we are headed out. I'm feeling a little rough. I haven't showered in a little bit. I was at a truck stop the other night. The showers were down. That really sucks. That is one of the harder parts of being out here. You gotta get used to being dirty. Kind of like hiking long distances with no means to shower. ruts in this Guys have enjoyed the first week of the stream. You're officially a week into the stream, and I'm so excited to see what happens for us on this stream. Currently have no cargo, so our acceleration is pretty clean. Pretty clean.
hit with a bad shower, but we have been lucky. We are on the I-20 Interstate 20 in Mississippi. That is Mississippi. And we are running through to western Mississippi and then on to Arkansas. Part of the I-20 is shut down. So we have a go around and it is going to double our fun, at least in Mississippi. Back roads again. Back roads again. Got my truck cleaned on Sunday night, early Monday morning. That was on the stream if you want to go back. I love getting my truck washed. It is so relaxing. It's not the reason I bring it up so much that it was on the stream, that I noticed there was a bunch of coffee on the door. On my driver's side door, there's a bunch of coffee splatter, and that's because I'm always pouring leftover coffee out the window. And it always gets all over my door. One good thing about coffee out here, it is generally free at truck stops. The quality of that coffee does vary. I do know how to read the machine to tell if it's fresh or not. You have to press a few buttons, and that definitely helps me in my quest for fresh coffee. I drink it black, no sugar, no milk, so fresh coffee is very important. I do buy iced coffee and keep it in my fridge. I buy Starbucks iced coffee and keep it in my fridge, and that hits my veins really hard when I wake up and really hard when I need to pick me up. And anytime during the day. The great thing about that is there's no sugar, so there's virtually no calories, but a smattering in black coffee. So that helps keep the weight down, or it helps it not go up as much, because I am out of shape here on the truck. I do have a good workout plan for this afternoon. I'm going to take one 18-pound kettlebell in each hand and walk around for about 40 minutes. So it's kind of, I call it a suitcase walk, or other people call it a farmer's carry. It works every single muscle, almost every single muscle in your body, and it is a great complete workout, especially when you might not have the time or access to a gym or other workouts you might do at home or in the field somewhere. I do try to do push-ups every day, as well as squats, and every few days I also do some wall balls with the 12-pound big medicine ball, 12-pound rogue medicine ball, and I do some heavy jump rope as well. Whenever I can, I hike on local trails, and when I get lucky, I know of some covert parking spots that I can park the full truck near the Appalachian Trail, and I do 8 to 15 miles at a clip on the Appalachian Trail when I can. That always tires me out because I'm not in great shape, but it is those are great days out here while I'm on the truck. guys aren't familiar with the Appalachian Trail, it is a trail that runs from Georgia to Maine. Obviously, there's road crossings and other things that cut through the trail. There's a lot of town stops. You could, if you're hiking for more than a day, where you could preload on food or stay at a hostel to shower, as well as a lot of hotels out there as well. The most I've done on the trail is about a week straight, hiking and camping out on the trail, cooking all my food or just eating it cold. After being on the truck for so long, I do know how to live rough, and I do have a great appreciation when I'm not living rough, when I'm staying in a really nice hotel or Airbnb, and it's quiet, and the sheets are soft, and I have my own bathroom and kitchen. It is a dream. It is a dream. So like I said, for everyone joining, we are on the I-20 westbound going to western Mississippi. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. many of you have traveled in Mississippi? I bet you not that many. It's not really the state you go through for any reason unless you're in the deep south. I've driven across the country a couple times. I rode my bike across half the country, and I never had a need to go through Mississippi. So the first time I was ever here was driving a truck. And even then, it took me a while to get here. See this up here, this SUV towing this VW. These guys are treacherous. Not this guy necessarily. These guys are called these guys and gals are called the in-tow crowd. INTOW. So like towing, in tow. They usually have that plastered on the back of the tow car and the back of the car that's being towed. A lot of the times they are towing rickety cars and trucks and any kind of vehicle you can think of. Usually it's on the I-20, which is just I-10 and I-20. So the I-10 and the I-20 are the far south, east-west, west-east interstates of the United States, and never really see them anywhere else but the I-10 and the I-20. I'm guessing because there's not as much police interference on these roads because it's less populated. So less populated areas, you're going to have less police interference, and you can do things that you can't necessarily do on other roads. So anyway, those guys tether a car or a truck to another car or a truck, and a lot of times there'll be two broke down cars or trucks, two or three, tethered to one closely like you saw there, and if they have two or more cars tethered to the one car, then they're going extremely slow, and they never have, or almost never have, good notification lights to so that you're aware that they're on the road. So you just, at night especially, you come upon them really fast, and there's like no markings generally, no reflectors, no blinking lights, etc. So once in a while I almost careen right into the back of them just because they're just not noticeable on the road at night, especially on really dark roads, coming around turns, going up or down mountains, and like I said, they're going a lot slower than other vehicles because they're towing one, two, or three other vehicles with a conventional vehicle and not a truck that has enough power to pull any kind of weight at any real speed. So those guys are really treacherous. I know they're making money by buying beat up cars and selling them, fixing them and selling them in some way. But the fact that they never have good notification devices on their vehicles for other motorists or truck drivers or police is a failing on their part. And yeah, that's what that's about. And I'm sure we'll see the in-tow guys either today or tomorrow, because we will be back on these less populated interstates tomorrow as well. You'll see exactly what I mean about there being two or even three cars behind a regular car, and just the amount of safety devices they have being next to nothing, and the speeds they're traveling being markedly slower than the rest of the traffic on the road. That truck that just passed us is a Pneumatic tanker, and they carry sand or gravel, mainly sand, that is used in mining operations, whether that be for oil, gold, silver, platinum, etc. So you'll see a lot of those trucks, especially in oil-rich areas, like in southwestern Texas, North Dakota, Wyoming, northern Colorado, South Dakota, etc. you also see them in Pennsylvania because they're used in mining operations, carrying frac sand for oil fracking. Currently considering whether or not I'm going to stop and wait out the closed road up ahead, or whether I should take the detour. My gut feeling tells me that I should just keep on driving and then wait out the detour off the road. I'm not going to wait for it to close on the road and sit in traffic, but the detour more than doubles my drive to pick up today, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of time wasted, and for some reason I feel like the road's going to be opened up again by the time, for all the time it takes me to take the detour, so we'll see. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep on driving and forego the detour and just wait the road closure out. There's a truck with a big box, an oversized load, as they say. It's a truck with a big box that is spilling out on both sides of this truck. I'm not sure exactly why he thinks it's okay to be in the middle lane, because he's blocking both the right and left-hand sides of traffic with this box. activity up here? Oh, maybe just a road fix. Everyone is coming to have a party on the 20th today. Tell you what. Traffic call. Traffic call. Boy, boy. Traffic call. Get in your lane. Get in your mother lane. There you go. Did you hear that guy? His engine gave me a little snort. Little cute snort. This guy's hitting his brakes like it's Christmas. Not exactly sure why. Not exactly sure why. So this is Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson-Mississippi. Say that 5 times quick. I bet you I can. Sometimes you're like, smooth as butter. I am being sarcastic. I am being sarcastic. Mississippi has one of the lowest incomes per capita. The people that live here. So generally, states with low income are going to have bad roads because their taxes don't bring in as much money. It's simple mathematics. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into road construction and upkeep, but that is a pretty basic way to understand why the state's roads aren't as well kept as other roads, or vice versa. Even in areas where there's high income, in a state like in Montana, a lot of the roads are pretty bad, low income. However, if you get around Missoula, all the roads are extremely well kept. Always work being done on them to make sure they're smooth and passable under all conditions that you might consider. far as I know, all these people at the moment are rushing to their certain doom because the road is shut down as far as I know with the information I have. So at some point in the next 10 to 20 miles, I am going to get off the highway and get real updates on that road closure. Hopefully I get off the highway before the massive slowdown occurs. I think I'll be fine. Normally I get over for a truck in the breakdown lane, but there are so many cars on the left-hand side of me that it's not possible. Some of these drivers are special today. Did you notice that car get over in front of me without signaling? So much fun. Thank you. Thank you for that. With this big load on the back is movement. check what's going on with the road closure up here. See how long it might be. I decided not to go around it. Decided that it's going to be a bad idea just because of how long it would have taken me. It's a much better idea just to wait it out. All those people below us going in the direction I was are about to hit dead stop traffic. And yeah, they just don't know what is ahead of them because they did not look at traffic conditions before or during their drive. That's really too bad. That is really too bad. So we're gonna stop the stream for now, and this road closure out. We'll be back soon. Hey guys.